All right, Denver is going to be 720
Uh-huh.
264
Okay.
7700.
Did you hear about the Ruby Ridge incident?
Sir, you need to speak to them. Have a nice day.
Figured. Americans are brainless. All they want is a job and they don't want to know the law. That's why our country's going to hell, because no one knows the law. And nobody's holding the government to the Constitution.
U.S. Marshals, how may I direct your call?
Yeah, I would like to know what lesson is to be learned from Ruby Ridge. I'm trying to understand what the government's point is.
And I'm sorry, why are you calling the U.S. Marshals about that, sir?
I think they were involved in it.
Okay, there's really nothing I can do to help you, sir.
How come? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking questions. How come?
Because that's not my jurisdiction and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, here's the deal, and maybe with this education that I give you, you could direct me in the right place. Ruby Ridge is in Idaho. The U.S. Marshals were involved in that. And so what I'm thinking is I need to call the U.S. Marshal to see what lesson we need to learn from that incident.
Who are you, sir?
What?
Who are we speaking with? This is Charlie. I'm the warrant supervisor here.
Oh, hi, Charlie. What's your last name?
Ahmad?
How do you spell that?
Who is this?
How do you...
United States Marshals Service. If you have a
Now they
touch-tone
won't
phone,
answer my
know your
call.
party's extension, you may dial it now. If you do not have a touch-tone phone, please remain on the line and you will be transferred to an operator.
It's the way this government
The U.S. Marshal
works.
Service does not release information to the general public on individuals in the U.S. Marshal Service custody with regards to prisoner housing, upcoming court dates, reasons for arrest, U.S. Marshal Service holds or release, or prisoner transfers and transfer location.
Your call has been answered by a VIA IP office. Extension 7706 is not available. To leave a message, wait for the tone.
Yeah.
When finished recording, press pound.
Our government. You're fired. As you can see, when somebody tries to find out the truth in government, it's pretty hard. As you can see, our government is unaccountable to the people. We the people establish the government. The government then establishes the citizen, which the government is the king over the citizen. We the people are king over the government, but it is obvious and evident that our government does not want to be held accountable because they're hiding in darkness. They are capitalizing on the people's ignorance, who become a citizen of their bankrupt corporation owned by international bankers. So these people, whenever I call them, they're under the assumption that they have authority over me. That's a false assumption. Legitimate governments gain their just powers from the consent of the governed. So in order for me to consent and to give them justification of having power over me, they must be held accountable to me. Unless, of course, I am a slave, and unless, of course, I relinquish my power to them through my consent, which I do not. I am a free man. I am not a bondman. So this is where the confusion arises, is through this process of the Social Security card and bankruptcy. I'm not bankrupt. I don't need government to wield their power over me. I have the Lord God who is my king. I don't need a United States corporation and bankers to be my God and to be my provider. I have a provider and he meets my needs. My laws do not allow me to become a slave to any master, any corporation, any United States. I'm sovereign like the founding of our country. John Jay said at the revolution, sovereignty devolved on the people. The people are the sovereigns of the country. He was Supreme Court Justice. So you can see where this government is confused. They're bankrupted. Everybody is bankrupted. That Charles, I'm sure he's thinking he needs a job, so he works and he takes away people's liberties out of his ignorance. The whole country's in ignorance. They're all bankrupt. This whole country is bankrupted. The taxpayer, they need the taxpayer's consent. They need our... That is what happened in Ruby Ridge, is they needed our consent. And Ruby Ridge, the Weavers, would not give them their consent. And that is what the bankers don't like. They hire these government thugs who just want a paycheck, and they don't care about the law. They don't know the law. They were never taught the law. The government never taught them the law. The government indoctrinated them how to be a slave to the system. Whenever you talk to any government official, they say, well, I'm just doing my job. Well, what's more important, the job or the law? They don't know the law, so they don't know if they're obeying the law. They're simply following orders from someone higher above them. Now, what I would like to do is make a call to these people, and I would like to find out who Charles's boss is so that I could ask him questions, because I'm not going to relinquish my power, my consent, unless I understand. And I think that's fair. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't think that any man on this earth should give their consent to any government without understanding the way it works. Because if we don't understand the way it works, somebody could be taking advantage of us, and we do not want to be taken advantage of. That's why I'm a free man, because I no longer want anybody to take advantage of me. There's no law that says I have to let someone take advantage of me. The Social Security card is basically created out of our ignorance. We're ignorantly giving our rights to them, and they're giving us privileges through this Social Security card.